Wednesday and Thursday
Right.
on a Tuesday.
So was Tua able to do everything in a walkthrough that he typically would if he were fully healthy? Did you distribute Teddy Tua snaps differently than you typically would in a walkthrough?
No, so it's a tricky scenario. Luckily, it's one of the reasons why we feel so fortunate to have Teddy. But if this were like a actual real practice on a normal week, Tua would be limited, and he would be questionable for the game. For as far as walkthroughs and stuff, and just in general, this much I know about Tua. Him and I's relationship is strong. He actually called me at like 10:50 last night. I'm like, dude, is everything okay? No, I'm just checking in on you. I'm like, all right, that's fun. And so, and just him talking to me, I can tell in his voice he's literally going to do everything he can, in and in his power. So collectively, we, we're, I'll be basically, he's, I know that he's going to do everything he can to play. So I'll know if he doesn't play that it literally was not possible, and we're just taking measures accordingly for Teddy beyond that. But happy with the way he's so far progressed, and feel very optimistic because of how he's going about it.
Mike, in regards to Tua, is it pain or is it functionality with the back that may be what is in flux with his?
Yeah, it's literally like pain and stability of both injuries, because I'm not sure. Have you ever have you ever thrown your back out at all, or had any back? Like, apparently you need your back for literally everything. So it's the functionality of it, because you're all of a sudden your back's overly tight, or you feel that crazy pain. Your body has a reaction process that you can all of a sudden go, you can lose all your power in your throws. You can't redirect, and once you can't protect yourself on an NFL football field, we have to protect you. So it's both. Yeah, there will be some pain regardless. It's whether or not that pain hurts him from being able to, put his production on the field and escape impending danger, which is part of the job of an NFL quarterback on Sundays or Thursdays. Well, from coming off the bus, I see swag, and then on the field, which yeah, I have a sound place in my heart for that. But he's a. You really, really like. I don't know. I appreciate guys that you're the number one pick in the draft. That is a burden for some. It was a blessing for him, and I really respect guys that come out, take all that hype, and do justice by it or exceed it. So the guy has great vision and awareness. He's very mobile, both within the pocket, staying a passer and escaping to run. Great touch, great accuracy. He does, and he really not only makes plays for their offense, but he helps other players make plays because of his ball location and stuff. So he's one of the true young flag bearers of our league that does a great job, and it's a tremendous challenge for our defense to go out there and face him. Really.
Speaking of hype, how does a team keep from buying too much into their own hype? Now, with you guys specifically getting a lot of attention in certain power rankings and talk shows and so on and so forth, how does a team block that out?
It's pretty simple. The hype, the power rankings, the everything you're talking about. Unless I missed in the bylaws somewhere that gets you a playoff berth, then what are we talking about? You know, and I think that's the thing is it's like a just understanding the natural course of the narrative, and this week's going to be the same. You explain to the guys, and they totally get it, that, hey, if we win, there are going to be further crowns. They're going to say all this. None of that relates to what we're trying to do. We're trying to get better every week. So what does that have? Nothing. Or, you know, we lose the game, and they're going to say, oh, yeah, see, I told you, it's the Dolphins that won 3. So regardless, you just know there's going to be a narrative and a reaction to whatever happens, and then you just stay true to what you're trying to do. We're trying to win football games, and more importantly in the process, we're trying to get better every week, so we're playing our best football at the end of the season, because that's where you're truly judged. So we're none of the power rankings or the hype factor in on that. To me, it's only, you know, I try to cater to any of the guys that are in love with attention and let them know that, hey, if you still want this attention, keep winning.
Coach, with the short week in the back, and with how much your defense was on the field Sunday, there's only so much time between the 2 games. How do you get as much rest or do as little as possible so the guys can be as fresh as they possibly can?
You know, there's no perfect formula. You know, we all, our team very much understands that Thursday night games do great things for the league in terms of, you know, what we're able to, fans are able to see a Thursday night game and all the revenue that brings, but it's a challenge nonetheless. And there's no perfect formula. You got to sleep, you got to eat right, honestly. You've got to rest, but the bottom line is both teams are on short weeks. It's out of the norm. You only do once a year, so you're not going to be used to it. There's an element of will that you just have to, there's no doubt. That's the defense played enough for 2 games, like a couple days ago. But one thing I do know is no one's going to care when the ball's kicked off in Cincinnati, whatever that is, in 2 nights. Today, Tuesday? Yeah. No one's going to care. So you have to do the best that you can, but then get guys in the mind frame of, you know, it's, you know, we're 2 teams are playing 1 game on an evening. Take pride in that and just go after it with full force, and you're going to have to dig deep. And as a result and as a reward, you'll get a couple days off after it.
Mike, your offense has showed a lot of skills or traits or characteristics, whatever you want to say. What have you liked most about what the offense has shown so far?
I really like how guys are starting. You're starting to see guys strain through plays longer. You're starting to see guys play for each other. So there's and you can. So I'm really liking how we've developed our standard with which we go about our business. You know, how we run off the ball, how we finish plays, the things that aren't result oriented, but more big picture and like how you look. I'm happy with where we're at right now because we're continuing to progress, and hopefully we'll continue to even get better with that. So there's, you know, early in the season, especially in year 1, there's a lot of things you're feeling out. But the one thing I don't have any patience for, and the one thing that I'd really hope for, is that the standard with which we play the game of football together looks in the way that it's trending right now.
How would you evaluate your cornerbacks opposite Xavier and to piggyback off that, is there any sort of update on Byron Jones over the next couple of weeks?
Well, I haven't heard you guys ask that many questions about corners outside of X, and they're kind of like referees in that regard, where if you're not talking about them, sometimes it's a good thing. I think I feel very good. I was just so happy. We were fortuitous that guys got extra reps in the off season, that they got to feel what it was like to be depended upon on the first team defense. I think I'm very happy with the play that we've got. I think it's been very competitive. I think people have tried to attack them, and guys will always make their plays, but I think they've done a really good job, and they can't be targeted that way, play in, play out, like you end up worrying. So I feel great about that. And with Byron, all I know, there's nothing new to update except that I can see, especially on the sidelines during our games, I can see vigor and eagerness in his eyes that let me know that it's progressing and he's excited to get back. Because if you cued a camera to him during the games, he's as locked in as everybody, and so I feel very good about that. And we'll see it as it continues to progress.
You have a history degree from Yale. I was just curious, how's your top 3 Dolphins running backs of all time? How does that list look? No.
Dolphin, yeah, I didn't have that in my course curriculum, but I mean, how can you not do Mercury and Zonka off the rip when I'm thinking about then there's some pretty good ones in the 80s. Ricky Williams is a strong one. Mercury and Zonka are 1-2 for sure, and then I don't know. You guys want me to go with like a Terry Kirby or something? You want me to go with? Yeah, I don't know where I would leave it open for on this Tuesday of a Thursday night game for what I'm probably forgetting, considering I barely know my name. So if I could just not be held to that top 3, know that those are 2 of them, and I'd want to be a little more convicted on the third because there's like 5 different options that, yeah, to be continued.
Mike, if I can ask you one more on Tua, just because he's the quarterback. I know sometimes they go up to game time decisions, but do you hope to make a call before Thursday, before the game, on if it will be him or Teddy, or do you have a timeline?
Yeah, I think I have to. I just kind of have to, in a short turnaround like this, I don't have reps at back and ankle injuries on a Thursday night game, so I'm going to take the rest of the day, and then as soon as we can, probably at some point, tomorrow I'd like to, if it's more up in the air. I mean, I know that's one thing that we can handle with our guy in Teddy, is that part of the reason it was so paramount and I was so pumped that Chris and the guys were able to get it done was because you have to be able to adjust as a backup quarterback, and really nothing would change that much in terms of how I'd call the game, and we have a bunch of faith in him. So, we're walking through in general anyway. So Teddy has to take reps each and every play in terms of calling the play and visualizing everything as it stands. So we'll probably just take it as long as we have to before we can be convicted. But at some point there has to be it won't be 5 minutes before kickoff. I know that. Probably sometime on Wednesday. But if we have to, we'll move it to Thursday morning.
Is there any concern with Jim Waddle or Brandon Jones popping up on the report? And while we're on the topic X and Toronto.
No, again, there are so many unknowns that I really lump all those guys together and know that they all know how important it is for us to have them operate, for us to go win the game, and they are all, we had guys in the training room in the stadium, in the facility after the game on Sunday. Like, guys came and got treatment. So guys are really doing everything they can to try to make up this unique timeline, and I expect to see most, if not all of them, but we'll adjust.